Hey everybody, welcome to another tune of the month. Happy October. This month I have for you by popular request another klezmer tune. We did a klezmer tune a number of videos back and a lot of you wrote to me and said, we love it, let's do more, so let's do more. Since you love that other freilach, that fast tune so much, I figured I'd give you another one. This is one of the first klezmer tunes I learned. And it's very, very, very famous. It's a great one to know. It's called at a lot of klezmer jam sessions. And it's also one of the few klezmer tunes with an honest-to-goodness name that more than a couple people are going to recognize universally. And it's called Meron Nign. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing that. I'm almost as bad at pronouncing klezmer tune names as I am at using Scottish accents. So you can correct me in the comments. But here it is. If you're just hanging out and listening, thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next month. And if you're ready to fiddle, grab your whatever you call a fiddle, violin, cello, viola, whistle, guitar, ukulele, whatever it is you play. Okay, so let's dive in. You may have noticed, if you are listening with tune of the month kind of ears, as I'm always asking you to do, listening for patterns and things that you hear that sound familiar, you may have noticed that this tune is in 4 parts, A, B, C, D. Very frequently, klezmer tunes are at least 3 parts. You see a lot of 3s and 4s. Not many 2s. I know the last one we did just had an A section and B section. It's fairly unusual. But it still works the same way. You go through the alphabet, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, you go back to the beginning. Alright, so this tune out in the world is played in many different keys. This version that I'm doing is in D. Now, D, it has kind of a D minor sensibility to it, a little bit of D modal sensibility to it, but bottom line is you're using that klezmer scale. So you're going to have D, E flat, F sharp, G, A, E flat, C, D. And what gives it that distinctive sound is that step and a half. It's a mode of the harmonic minor scale is what it is, and it has a special name. I believe it's freilach, but I am not up on the nomenclature of my klezmer modes. I should check that out. If you know, throw it in the comments below and save me the time looking it up. I know the sound. So the trick is, to make that sound, you're going to put your first finger all the way as low as you possibly can back at the nut. And then you're going to stretch your second finger as high as you possibly can. And that's going to really give it that wonderful sound, and it's going to pull your hand. It's going to feel very, very, very big. That's how you know you're nailing it. Okay, I'll go slowly. As you may have noticed, the bowing for this is a lot of separate bows, and in fact with these fast klezmer tunes, I don't really use the same bowing patterns like I do in fiddle tunes. It's mostly separate bows, And you're going, but you used some slurs. Yes, I did. They're not part of a pattern. They are all buffer slurs. They are all slurs I'm using to help myself stay down bow on the downbeat while the rhythms change. So follow that strategy through this entire tune and you will sound quite good. And you'll also feel good because you'll be bowing with gravity. Here's the A section. Well, this has a part 1, part 2, part 1 ending construction. Haha! Hopefully you've already noticed it. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, check out past tunes of the month. We talk about it in nearly every video. Here's part 1. Alright, so notice it's all separate bows, but I'm ending down bow because of that little rhythm change at the beginning. Da 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 da, right? Now these next 2 pickups need to slur. That's part 2. It just slurs the first 2. Buffer. Right? And it just, all that is doing is going up the arpeggio, right? That's the D major arpeggio. And now I'm going to go down that klezmer scale. That's all I'm doing. And we're back to the beginning. We already know that one. Now, I know I'm going to have to buffer bow. I'm just going to stay going down bow. Now, that last little bit doesn't come out nicely, that last note, for the bowing, no matter what you do. So I just do a bunch of different crazy things. That time I did down, down. I've also been known to go slur the up bow. Did you catch that? Down, up, down. But all I'm doing is going down the scale and repeating each note. I'll do the A section slowly, one more time, and then I'm going to go on and play the B section slowly. So once you hear the B that you don't know yet, stop playing along, I know you're playing along with me, and listen. A. So part 1, I leaked into part 2 a little bit so you can see that it's all separate with just that buffer slur. Part 1, just up the scale, down. You got the buffer slur, right? And this is part 2, my favorite part. C, slur, C, slur. Isn't that great? And I'm sure you can see where I'm slurring and why. So the C's fall down bow, right? Down, buffer slur, down, buffer slur. Back to part 1. Ending. for going into the C, ending. That's all there is to part 2, the B section rather. I'll play the B section again slowly and move into the C. Super repetitive. This isn't just part 1, part 2, part 1 ending. It's part 1, part 2, part 1, part 2. Repeat it. Part 1, part 2, part 1, part 2. And it sounds super fancy because there are a lot of notes. All it is a little pattern. I'll do it without the trill for a second. Right? It did the same thing 3 times, right? 1, essentially 4 times, right? 2 times is 1 C section, and you need to do 2 C's, so it's 4 times. Now, to make it fancy in klezmer, when you're sitting on that F sharp, rather than just sitting there, trill really fast with your 3rd finger. Second time, add a little double stop with your open A. Doesn't even need a part 1, part 2, part 1 ending because it's just down the scale. And did you hear those special klezmer ornaments? We did this in the last klezmer tune video, so if you want to go check out what those clefs are doing, look at that video. But basically, I'm just going to go down the scale and I'm going to clef each note I possibly can. Clef. From the A section with the same bowing deal as the A section, and that's the whole D. I'll do it again. Remember, those clefs are imitating the break in the human voice. The clef, just a quick reminder, it's an ornament on the back side of a pitch. Right, and all I'm doing is I'm stopping the ringing of that 3rd finger D with my 4th finger E. Stop the note. Want to hear the pitch of that grace note. It's just stopping the string from ringing, and that's the imitation of the human voice. If you want to hear more about that ornament, go back to my previous video or go on the wide, wide world of Google and look at the great klezmer singers doing this, and you'll hear what I'm talking about. I'm not even going to try to imitate it here because we all know that's going to go badly. But that's the whole tune, and you can put it together very easily. Oh, one last thing I was going to show you. When I demoed it, I did that last D section up an octave. Very common in klezmer tunes when you want to get real fancy. Do it up an octave. So to do that, you need the third position. If you've never been in third position before, don't worry, I show you how to do it in other tunes of the month. But very quickly, I'm going to replace my third finger where I would normally play third finger D on the A string. I'm going to replace it with my first finger, hence third position. It's measured from your third. And you notice I'm testing it with my open D string. If those two pitches match, I know I'm in the right place. Here's the D section slowly up an octave. Shift back to first. Replace back to third position. Did you see that moment I came back to first position? When I run out of room, right? I'm on my first finger. Just come back to your second finger, right there. And that's all there is to it. You can also try other sections of this tune up the octave in the same way. They'll all fall in third position just like that. Aren't you glad you know how to do it? Alright, so there's the tune. Play with it, play it at different tempos, different speed ups and slowdowns. All sorts of crazy things can be done with this. So enjoy playing with it. Oh, as always, if you'd like to see sheet music for this and all future tunes of the month, you can go to my website, www.mariblack.com, and sign up for the newsletter. I send out email newsletters once a month, which have the Tune of the Month sheet music in them. That's the only way you can get it. So if you like seeing them, make sure you're signed up. And if not, you know how to learn by ear. Who needs notes on a page? Have a great month, guys. See you later.